Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Friends Before Kickoff. My name is Kyle. As always, I'm joined with my buddy Finn. And today we're going to take a look at some of the transfers that have happened in world football this summer. A lot of center backs on the move, a lot of money being thrown at center backs. I saw an athletic article that dubbed it the summer of the center back. So I guess, first of all, I'll just ask you how you doing, Finn?
I'm feeling good. Excited to get into this. It's been a ton of center backs on the move. Some of them, I would argue, the most high-profile center backs in Europe have been switching clubs. So I'm excited to take a look at these guys and do some comparisons and talk about their new teams.
Yeah, I mean, to sum up the summer, Nathan Ake almost went for 45 million to Chelsea. So I'm kind of cheesed that didn't happen. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Looks like he's going to stay. I think we could have got a lot better center back for 45 mil than Nathan Ake. But we move on. He's still a good depth option. I mean, I don't think we win the title without him this year. He covered at center back and left back when we had a lot of injuries. But 45 million,
45 million. Yeah. But, I don't know. I don't think it'll be the summer of the center back for me until we get the blockbuster Phil Jones move. But
oh yeah, he's still not.
I pray every night, but it hasn't happened yet.
And he's a free agent though, right?
No.
Oh.
That guy has like 3 years left on his contract.
What?
Something crazy. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I guess he signed a renewal under Ole, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woodward always hated letting guys go on a free because you lose value. So you sign them to a 5-year contract and give them insane wages, then no one wants to buy them.
Yeah. Well.
Anyways, we're already too into my Man United depression.
Yeah.
I think it's time to pivot.
Yeah, let's talk about Matthias de Ligt. So he was once the most okay, I was going to talk about Harry Maguire. I won't talk about Harry Maguire. Let's just say once again, he has moved for a lot of money, 67 million euros from Juventus to Bayern. The former Golden Boy is now 22 years old. And I'm just interested to ask, taking a look into his stats at Juventus, and honestly, from memory too, he kind of seems like he's plateaued a little bit. And obviously he's really young, and anyone who captained a team that far in the Champions League and had that many goals and that many crazy tackles at 18, 19, obviously there's still a lot of raw talent there, but I'm really not too aware. I don't watch a lot of Serie A. What do you think? Something went wrong at Juventus, or do you think it was just a case of, he had 3 different managers, 3 different seasons, 2 world-class center backs fighting for spots. He came out and said that he thinks that Bayern is closer to the way he played at Ajax than Juve. So maybe it just wasn't a right fit.
That could be. I mean, like you, I can't say I'm a huge Serie A guy, so I can't pretend that I've been watching every match. I mean, the thing that jumps out to me, honestly, most of all, is his age. I kind of can't believe that he's still 22. I mean, he's a player who I think has been in lists of either the best young center backs or even the best center backs full stop for, it seems like a few seasons now, which maybe puts some of what I think we could not unreasonably call a plateau at Juventus into context. I mean, he left Ajax, a team where he was sort of the beating heart and soul of that team, for Juventus at probably one of the worst times in Juventus's recent history. So, I mean, I think players can still shine in clubs in the state that Juventus are in. It's not impossible. They've certainly had players who have looked good the last few seasons for them. But I think probably for a player that young, in that sort of environment with the changing managers, and really, I mean, they've underwhelmed at every turn. They went from complete dominance to both of the Milan teams are winning their first titles in recent memory. And I mean, as a team, they've really been a failure. So I think it's hard to hold all of that against him. I think he certainly would have liked to see more from him, given that, I mean, it's over 100 million cumulatively that clubs have paid for him now with this Bayern move. But I don't think that I would, write him off based on the Juve form, and I don't think I would put the Juve form at his feet either.
Yeah, that's kind of where I feel, where it's got to be somewhere in the middle of, he's fallen off and, he's world-class still. I think, just the fact that it was really only Bayern and Chelsea being talked about kind of speaks volumes about, when he was 19 and that's 2018, 19 after that Champions League run. I'm pretty sure every club in the world was keeping tabs on him. Yeah, I think it's more just, I mean, 22 is still incredibly young for a center back. And there's a lot of raw talent there. Nagelsmann's a fantastic coach. I think, also I think he's stepping into a situation in Bayern where he is going to start. Like, I don't know why they spent that much money on him when what they plan to kind of ease him into the team. Because at that point, I mean, he just started, took Ajax to the semifinal. He beat Juve. I don't know why they weren't starting him, but now, I think Bayern's defense has looked shaky since Alaba left. Looking at their numbers, Upamecano and Hernandez are both really good at, ball progressions and passing and stuff like that. But if you want to talk about, like, there's going to be times when you're Bayern, I mean, maybe not in the Bundesliga, but when you come against Real Madrid, Man City, Chelsea, whatever, you're going to need guys to sit back and just block, absorb pressure. And I'm not sure if Hernandez is that player. He's actually the only player that Bayern have ever spent more money on than De Ligt, which is nuts. Wow. I think Upamecano is still raw, but I think if you put a guy like that, not to say De Ligt isn't a great on the ball, but if you put a guy like De Ligt that's more of a warrior type next to Upamecano, I think it's a better center back pairing than having two of those guys, especially considering Hernandez is not that tall. Like, De Ligt is kind of the prototypical center back. What more could you ask for in the modern day? I mean, I've kind of wanted at Man City pretty much as soon as he's come on the scene. So I think I think he should take this move in stride and thrive, and Bayern will be right back at the top of the world. I mean, also you got to consider he's going to be training in that Bayern gym.
That's true. No, I agree. I mean, even despite, I think, the dip in form, that I think it's fair to attribute to him. And if that's shaking your faith, that's not unreasonable, although I don't think you should write him off. I think every top club would have lined up for him. I think Bayern and Chelsea were the obvious ones with money to burn and center back vacancies, so that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I think he'll be a fantastic fit at Bayern. I think culturally, they're really similar to Ajax in terms of the tight-knit kind of family structure between the players all the way up to their administration, which I think will probably help him feel more at home. Same with the passionate fans, not to disparage Juve, but I tend to think of the Bundesliga and the Eredivisie as sort of linked in that sense. I think on the field too, for all the reasons you listed, he'll be incredible. I think you talked about sort of needing to sit back and absorb pressure in the Champions League. I think he's going to put up some pretty impressive numbers going forward in the Bundesliga, because I mean, think of how many matches Bayern just dominate possession when, I mean, how many, like a dozen corners more. And I think that's the kind of thing that he can feast on. Really, I mean, we saw it at Ajax and in that Champions League run where they knocked out Juve. So I think, I mean, obviously you want him to be doing the defending primarily, but I wouldn't be surprised to see his goals numbers particularly high, even for a defender.
Yeah, I just have this ounce of uneasiness, or like an ounce of doubt, and it's just like I couldn't tell you how it's gonna go wrong, but like, I don't know. I just feel like we can't be as 100% sure as we were when he was 19.
I agree.
But I couldn't find any good, maybe I should talk to some of my friends that watch the league more, but I couldn't find any good reasons. It was just talking basically about how Juve were a team constantly in transition. Look at all the crap they had going on with the deals between Arthur Pjanic and Cancelo and Danilo.
Yeah, really.
So
I don't know. No, I mean, I think I get anxiety over the fact that this is sort of a make or break move for him as a wonder kid, or if you want, maybe not even a wonder kid, if we just want to consider him as one of the elite center backs. If this doesn't work for him, then I do think even after one season, there'll be real questions about his quality and what he can actually be as a player season to season as he ages, rather than just sort of this flash in the pan at Ajax, which I right now don't think he is. But like I said, I think he has to really nail it at Bayern to avoid that. That said, I think I'd be more worried if he was in Chelsea. I think the demands of the Premier League and sort of the pressure that comes, from the media and fans in the Premier League is a level above really anything else in football. And so I think, like I said, Bayern with the culture, and I just think with the fact that they'll probably walk the Bundesliga again. I mean, I would be very surprised if they didn't. So he gets, pretty much 38 games or fewer for the Bundesliga, I think, but to settle and to really have expectations, but no real pressure on him, because Bayern are going to, win more than enough games to get the title. And so it really comes down to the Champions League, like most things do for Bayern. But I think it's a pretty good situation for him to reach his potential.
Yeah, I think also going into the move, it was a year after Ronaldo had came. He joined a team that had been in the Champions League final twice in how many years, and had just won how many Serie A's, right? And then for the first time in however, like Juve fell off. So, maybe people that were more closely following the club were more aware that he was joining the club at a time that could go downhill. But I think 90% of the world that was watching was like, he joined Juve because they're going to be right back in the fight for the Champions League every year. They're going to win Serie A, like kind of have this Bayern move actually is. So I think this is the move that he should have made when he was 19. And I think there's just kind of too much leaning in his favor that this doesn't, that he doesn't at least reach, you know, the levels that David Alaba, I mean, one of the best center backs of our generation, but I think but we're talking about Ligt that could have been the best center back of our generation. So I think he will at least be like world class and they won't miss Nicolas Sula, or Lucas Hernandez won't be fighting to take over his top spot, I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, no, I mean, if that happens, something's gone seriously wrong. I mean, who knows if he'll be world class? I think based on his potential and sort of the promise, he should be. But even if he's a level or two below that, I don't think it's a failure. But yeah, I mean, I think this is the right move for him. I think pretty unequivocally. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe he was sold that same vision of Juventus that we all were when he came, in terms of returning to the Champions League led by Ronaldo, or Champions League final led by Ronaldo. And I mean, you can place the blame at the feet of any number of their recent managers or the administration with their signings. Ronaldo probably didn't help ultimately, but yeah, I mean, I think ultimately this is a positive move for everybody involved. Juve recoup their transfer fee, Bayern get one of the elite young central defenders, and I think he's in a position to really succeed.